folks, and welcome to my channel. So, on Friday, the 14th of March, we have a total lunar eclipse and a full moon in Virgo. So, another opportunity for growth, wisdom, inspiration, upgrade, insights, etc. So, I'm going to pull some cards in this reading and we're going to look at some energies, some cards, and see what wants to come through. I'm going to be using two decks, the Astro Matrix Tarot. And I'm also going to be using Priestess of Light by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. So let's get to it. So, full moon in Virgo and the lunar eclipse. Let's pull some cards. Let's look at the global stage first, and we will go off into the collective global stage. Show me the global stage, Friday the 14th of March. Friday the 14th of March, the global stage. I'm seeing an absolute mess of information, okay? So it's almost like I'm seeing lots of different people, computers, phones, and it's a bit like the Seven of Cups card, the illusion where it's a mist going over lots of cups. It's almost like there's this big ball of illusion of which we can choose at any point to step out of, if that makes sense. So, global stage, 14th of March. Global stage, 14th of March. Global stage, 14th of March. Queen of Swords, cutting the cords, stepping away. And we've got the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Ace of Cups. I'll read them in a minute. We've got the World. We've got Judgment, Exposure, Rising. Look at this. Look at this. We've got the skeletons. We've got Judgment. We've got Exposure. We've got a Phoenix rising from the ashes. All the little skeletons. We've got the Sun energy. And we've got the Page of Wands to dance with life. I've just done a Trump video on our joint channel, which is GT Tarot, but the name is going to be changing on there. Oh, it's 11:11 on my phone. And a very similar thing happened in that reading. I was doing the Trump the first 50 days. So if you want to watch that, you go over onto that channel. That no matter what is going on politically, any global stage, there is this energy of total liberation and ascension and waking up. It's almost like this noise, and for some people, it really is a noise. I know that for some people, it's still true and it's still real as I am real in this video. But for many people, they're seeing through that noise, they're seeing through it, they're seeing beyond it. And if that triggers, so be it. Because it's almost like globally, I could sit here and go, I can see this happening with President something. I can see that happening with that Prime Minister. I could see that happening with the royal family. I could see that happening in Hollywood. And it is all happening. But also as well, out of that is coming great creation. The rising divine feminine, the rising divine masculine, people coming back to their own waters, coming back to their heart center. And you may say, and I've said this before, well, how is that when there is so much, when there are so many people in pain or there's so much conflict? We get to choose in each moment. There are some people out there that will stay in fear for as long as they need to be. And sometimes that will be for full incarnation. But this reading is for those that are feeling this energy. If you're not feeling this energy, it's just not going to resonate. Full stop. But even if you're not resonating with it, this is still open to you. It's almost like it is the parting of the waves. You've got a choice with this. This moon is going to be huge. Um, this choice of the parting. It's interesting because the lovers card in this reading, we're interested to see if it comes out. Came through in the Trump video, and it's got a parting. There's the man and there's a woman, and there's a crack in the ground. So this shift that's coming in, where it's almost like it doesn't even for some people, it doesn't even feel like it's happening. Some people out there won't even realize who the president is, won't even realize who the prime minister of what country is. Some people out there are so in their lane with their stuff, they've got no idea of what's going on in the world. And I think that's a great place to be. Might be a trigger for people that think it is actually a great idea to stay with the latest intel. I even struggle with these Thursday things because I go on and I'm like, which is why I don't cover many subjects in those because I don't want to get too deeply into it, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, globally, it's another shift. It's another awakening. It's exposure and judgment. It's what it says on the tin. Global stage, global stage, global stage. Death and rebirth. Darkness to light. Death and rebirth. Darkness to light. Summoning power, instinct, intellect, and control. Summoning our own personal power away from news. No, I said news cartels then. Away from the news industry, away from social media influencers that are under the influence of control, etc. Really summoning our power back to ourselves. So let's look at that's the global energy. It feels kind of like collective anyway, but let's just look at the collective energies. So the collective energies would be what's happening energetically, collectively, if that makes sense. Many people are seeing through the illusion of it all, the fakery. You know, how many times do you watch something at the minute and think that just does not look real? Because it doesn't. Collective energies, full moon in Virgo on the eclipse, collective energies. Look at that Three of Cups, the dance, the celebration, the rising divine feminine, the rising divine masculine. Again, we've got the Queen of Swords coming in to cut through what no longer serves her. She knows her own mind. Finding strength in ourselves as well. There's an energy of finding strength in ourselves and what we stand for and what we believe in. But also as well, this unity consciousness energy. I've actually, because obviously I'm a creator, and over the past since 2020 when I first came on YouTube, where excuse me, literally if you talked on certain subjects, your thread would be full of negativity, and you'd get the odd comment of "That's a nice comment." This is early days. Like any of the stuff you put on, like, you know, Trump, Meghan, the royals, all it'd be full of shit. The comment section just full of people just ripping chunks out of each other. I am noticing in this past year, 2025, yes, you're still going to get that energy in there, but it almost doesn't even feel real. It feels robotic. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. But I'm also seeing many people actually stepping away from that. And, you know, monitoring comment section on certain videos isn't as bad as it used to be last year or year before that, because many people are coming around to unity consciousness thinking. The ones that don't, you can feel the denseness in it. If you go out into cities or towns or whatever, you can see and feel the denseness. And actually, it's almost like you can see it more now than ever, but it's not as loud as it ever was, if that makes sense, because the balance of light has shifted, which is why you can see it more, but it's not as loud as it was. And I'm also getting as well, the more we go through this, it won't be able to penetrate as deep as it has done in the past. We've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. The purifying of power. not just power as in leaders, but power as in all situations. Your bosses, the people in your community groups that think they've got the power, the people in your family dynamics that think they've got the power, the people in your neighborhood community that think they've got the power. There's a purifying of power. And I say that because we've got the Four of Pentacles. This energy is starting to look like that. Whenever I see leaders now, it's what they appear to me as that. It's like, oh yeah, oh, I know what that is. That's the old patriarchal energy, toxic patriarchal energy. Whether it's a leader or whether it's someone that still supports it. So there is going to be this energy of, I'm going to hold on. You know, I've said in many videos now, there is a last grab for power and resources. It's not God. It's really not, but it was always going to happen. When they realised that energy was shifting and that humanity was starting to wake up to the corruption in all systems and all leaders, there's going to be a last grab for power. And there is a last grab for power. Let them live with that. Let them live with themselves. Because we've got the rising of, it's all coming out, exposure. The rising of humanity. For the joy, the sun card. Also, as well, the next generation, I'm going to come to that in a minute. I've got similar cards, the dance with life. The world, same cards, birth and the new. Ace of Cups, it's the same cards. Collective energies, Empress creating, manifesting, seeing the trickery for what it is. But do you know, as you look at this spread here, there's 1, 2, 3 dense cards. In previous reads, when I've done them, it's been more dense than gentle. So there has been a shift in balance. More people coming back to bare basics. Now I'm coming back to the next thing I want to talk about. This is the generational thing. We know there's an issue with money and the last grab for power. One of the things I'm feeling is that the next generation, so your youngsters, your teenagers, your children, your babies, there's a lot online at the minute of issues that are coming through in relation to the older generation at the minute and the damage that have been caused in families, right? And I'm seeing clients now, right, a regular, and it's the same story. That energy as well is also burning itself out. So the younger generation will not all of them, because that type of frequency is still out there. But put it this way, in the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years, I really don't feel that counsellors are going to be counsellors, therapists, healers are going to be hearing the type of things that they are now in relation to family trauma. Because it's had its one last purge. Yes, no parent is perfect, but there's a shift happening. So this younger generation are not going to be going in with some of the horrifying stories of physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, sexual abuse, etc., that we're hearing about now. So there's a shift. I'm going to be interested to see what card comes after that Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, Knight of Swords going for something. The toxicity, the purge of toxicity. And the temperance. And the spells that we've all been under. Because spells aren't just, dolls and pins and stuff. Spells can be words, which is why they call it spelling, all the grooming, the mind control within school systems, within family systems, within the global system, within neighborhood systems. For an example, when my mum moved into her street and when my mum and dad moved into their first house in the 80s, she put a washing out because she had a baby, moi, in the 80s on a Sunday, and she got a knock to the door. And an old lady came in and said, just to let you know the rules of the street, my dear, that we do not wash our clothes on a Sunday. Well, they did. That's the type of thing, local community groups, where you can be spelled without even realizing it. of what you should be doing with your children, what you should be. It's all breaking down. It's all very interesting. So take this into a personal level. How is this going to be affecting you as an individual? What are we going to be feeling internally? So though we've done the global, we've done the collective, now you internally. The impacts on your life and the impact on your life. But remember, this can change and come out in different ways for different people. So what's it going to look like for you individually in your life? What's it going to look like for you individually in your life? Oh, one's falling out already. We've got the King of Swords. There's a lot of mental conflict going on, a lot of mental conflict that we're having to work through. I know that the words let it go is so triggering because if it was that easy, we'd all let it go. But we're having to let it go. We're having to dig so deep to let this mental conflict go because it's just keeping us trapped and emotionally drained, especially women or men that are tuned into their divine feminine. And again, we've got the systems, the global systems, all of that. But also, as well, take it away from that, your jobs, your responsibilities. Does your job lift you up? I'm going to be honest with you. Any aspect of your life that is toxic is going to be shown to you in a way that's never been shown before. And it's going to make you feel like utter shit. It's going to make you feel like you don't even want to be here in some cases. It's been shown to you for a reason. It's why we get pain in the body. It's trying to get your attention to energy in the body that needs to be released. It's trying to get your attention to the areas that you're giving your power away, that you're going into, please, sir, yes, sir, that you're giving your resources away to. It's trying to get you to stand up. If you're feeling exhausted and too much in the mind, yeah, it's backstabbed and betrayed. Your wish. What's your wish? Again, these energies that we're going into, we're going to be required more and more to go into our wish zone. We've got to step out of eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Well, you leave school, you do this, you fall in love with this person, you stay with them until you die. You have 3.4 kids, you get 2 cars on the drive, you work in the matrix and you stay there because you get a good pension and you get good maternity pay, all of that. And you end up in a dense situation where you realise one day that you work and you're like, this system's corrupted. My work, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just a number on a pay slip. Take this away from working environment. Take this into your personal life. Are you seen? Are you heard? Are you respected? And more people, because it's got more and more squeezed and more pain has come up. It's like, I can't do it anymore. So we're seeing more and more people with this moon and this eclipse following their wish zone, going into the wish energy. The Queen of Pentacles, my self-worth. I'm not going to be in this energy of out in the cold, poor me. We're having to purge it out, which is why sometimes I sound a bit arsey when I tell people not to talk about the cost of living crisis. Oh, I cringe the shit out of me. Does that? I'm sorry, just does. We've got to understand that we're spelling. So we talk about the cost of living crisis, or I can't afford that, or my anxiety, my pain, my depression, my trauma. You are owning that. And when we wake up to the fact our words become our reality, it changes the game forever. We've also got to step away from they have our happiness in our hands. Also, as well, what you've been locked out from is not for you. So if you're feeling locked out of something, battles, arguments, inner conflict, emotional fulfillment, Four of Cups, people that cannot be reached, and that's okay. The Moon, the illusion. I'll do two more. The Knight of Pentacles, a way out of this, a way forward. The Fool. The leap of faith will stop there. I don't want the card. Yeah, the Hanged Man. The Hanged One. Seeing things from a different perspective. So, we are going through possibly one of the biggest purge cycles that we've ever gone through. It's literally going really deep into those core wounds. We're having to face so many conflict emotions. Looking at finances, looking at wealth, health, looking at our energetic systems, our self-care. And amongst all of that, really having to really hone into our wish zone and our dreams and making it a reality. Knowing that we've been betrayed by those that had power over us. And realizing that this system, whatever this system is, it could be your social worker, it could be your school teacher, it could be the president, the prime minister, the king, the queen, your parent or parents. This system that seemed like you, the almighty one, it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. Do I really have my power? What is my wish? What is my dream? How can I make a life for myself that is more fulfilling for me? Why am I such a victim? Or aspects of us that still are victim, because there'll be chinks of energy within us that's still in this energy of, no, I don't want to be touched. You don't want to be touched. Interesting. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be connected to. I don't want to be contacted. Don't touch me. Don't come near me. This card also reminds me of you've had an argument with someone and you're ignoring them because I'm going to punish them. Because I'm not brave enough or strong enough to speak my truth, to be in my truth, to stand in my truth. I'm going to do the, and I'm hearing the weakest thing, and that is to go, no. There is some big things coming up. There is some big, big, big things. The illusion of the arguments. This energy here, almost for some people, feels like it's going on in the background, and more people are stepping away from it. I'm not getting involved. I'm not going there. A real breakthrough energy. And maybe that's where the purge has come from, because we're having to purge it to go forward with something else, because we've been able to see through it, to see something from a different perspective, to go into enlightenment. This full moon and eclipse for the people on a personal level, humanity on a personal level. What's the main energy we're going to be dealing with? Facing, healing, alchemizing. Sacred gratitude, reverent appreciation, and prayer. And idyllic times, the garden, and paradise. What's my paradise? What's my garden? What's my idyllic times? Does this job fulfill me? Does this relationship fulfill me? Does this friendship fulfill me? Does this family fulfill me? Does this political party fulfill me? Does this neighborhood fulfill me? New Earth humans, they're not going to be bullshitting themselves with eat, sleep, rave, repeat. They're not going to be putting up with it. We're not going to be putting up with it. And there's more of that coming forward. Interested. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.